Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another installment of the Living World of Darkness, the Mage Venue. In this scene, you will see an interaction between Tom Dooley, the newest Verbena apprentice, and Jericho Ogama. As Tom tries to offer some assistance in the ongoing investigation involving the hanging corpses. And we will open the scene with Tom trying to get a hold of Jericho. And Tom will be sending an email, or, sorry, was it an email, or did you give him a card with your phone number?
Let's be easy. Let's just go on with the thread they're going on and stay with the email.
Okay. And Tom will say, in his hunt and peck style of typing, in his email, hey Jack, it's Tom. Wanted to share some information that I came across involving one of the interesting happenings around Halloween. I think you'll find it enlightening. Please hit me back, and maybe we can meet up somewhere.
After some time, you're gonna get the response back from that particular email address. Sunnyside Docks, about 6 p.m. Make sure to wear heavy clothing. It's gonna get cold.
Okay. So, and Tom is actually going to be putting up some of his shields just in case. You never know who's out that way, and he'll have a decent raincoat on, and he'll gradually make his way to the docks.
Okay, the scene you see before you is rather simple. You recognize the man that you know as Jack, currently standing on a bench on this particular pier. The pier is not that very long. It's wooden. It's cold. It's a bit freezing as well. The only people around here tend to congregate are actually around trash cans, actually, and they're only, well, they're several yards away. The figure you know as Jack is just currently sitting there.
Is there a small spot somewhere around here that Tom could maybe grab a couple coffees?
Yeah, sure. There's a quick and go cafe shop just a few blocks before you reach your destination.
Okay. Tom's actually going to bring in coffee for Jack as he goes up. Hey there, Jack. Thanks for meeting me. I thought you might want a coffee. Here you go.
Jack will go ahead and take the coffee, let it sit in his hands for a little bit, sip it a little bit, make a semi-disgusted face, but quickly swallows it down, simply saying, "You put sugar in it, didn't you?"
No, just one cream. I didn't know what you wanted in it, so I just went with something safe.
I go with my coffee fairly plain black, maybe skim milk, but don't worry about it. You didn't know.
Sorry.
So how you been lately?
Good. I've sort of I feel like I have a sense of purpose now. Finally, um, I've um, I've had some interesting developments of late, and I wanted to thank you for having my back at the pizzeria.
You know, I here's the thing. When you were going ahead and praising that devil, I kind of thought I lost you. I really did.
Well, I think if this whole council thing's going to work, we need to try and build some mutual understanding. I think there's more to this than what's always in front of us. So I'm sorry. I wasn't only trying to be a peacemaker, man. That's all.
It's fair to. Some of us are made to be peacekeepers. In fact, I don't think enough of us are made out to be peacekeepers. Maybe you're doing the right thing. I don't know, Tom. I really don't. Sometimes I don't even know what the right thing is. But in any case,
I
you
don't.
said you had some hints and tidbits.
Yeah. I've gotten. I figured out some information on those. And he'll sort of go like this, just in case. And just look either way. On those runes that were inscribed in the corpses.
Is this related to the Galsman case?
Yeah, that's them.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, I'll admit I don't know the symbology or the runic meanings for most things in the world, but apparently you and Jade might. So, lay it on me, brother.
Okay, man. Here's what I've gotten. These predate the Futhark. In fact, if you look, and he'll bring out a notebook, and he'll open it to the page with the runes on it. Um, please have a look at one of the previous scenes to get a look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Or have you seen them already?
I will go ahead and see them at my leisure.
Okay. Well, he will point out two or three that he's actually been able to identify as possible um, Futhart relatives. There's one that actually looks like Hagalas, which is the rune for disruption, and it's also the rune that works on opposites. And then there's Bricana. Forgive me, I don't remember exactly what Bricana means at the moment, but he'll point out the two or three, and he'll actually explain to you. Actually, just to be fair, I'm going to roll a memory check. It's a part of his disability, so he might have troubles. Even though he reads it and he understands them and he speaks the language, he still, he still has cerebral palsy. Uh, so you see him sort of furrow his brow a little bit. I know this looks like Bricana, but for the life of me, I can't remember what this means at the moment. But there are definite similarities. It looks as if these might have their basis in Central America, like we're talking like Mayan sort of a thing like that. Very ancient, very old, and and these are war runes.
War.
Yes, and they seem to be used specifically for summoning something very nasty.
Hmm. That does match up with a lot of the information I've been gathering from Jade and them. But okay. Some of this terminology just flies over my head. What is the for when? What? What's that? What's it? School
Oh,
me on that one.
uh, sorry, you mean the Futhark?
Yeah, Fufar.
The ancient runic language of the Norse. It's said to be the oldest runic alphabet, save this.
Okay, so it's a runic alphabet that's much more ancient than the Norse alphabet that has its origins within Central America.
Or somewhere around there, yes.
Okay, fair enough. That's useful information. I'll go ahead and correlate it with all the rest of the stuff. Anything else?
Um, well, yes. Um, I I've been given a task by our mutual friend, um, who is my mentor, to see
Mm.
if you would um allow me to assist you in this investigation.
Okay. If you think you're up for it, I mean, you've seen the grisly death of at least 6 people, and from the information I'm gathering, at least 12 more shall perish in a likewise manner. You sure you're up for it?
I am a mage. It comes with the territory, and even if I'm not up up for it, I need to get up for it really quick. So I'm prepared. I wouldn't be asking if I wasn't at least somewhat ready on the inside, even if the outside is quaking.
Tom, you're not a superhero. You're just a person, just like everybody else, just like me.
Yes, but I've been gifted.
Jade, just like a
But I've,
Cecil. Well, not like a Cecil. Cecil's a badass, actually. But
but
just
I've
like
been.
Joe Schmo across the street, just like everybody else within this city, nothing is your problem.
Yes,
But
yes,
you
it is.
seem to have gone ahead and built yourself an own little cross that you seem to be dragging behind. So are you very, very sure? Because, like I said, you're not a superhero. You don't
I
have to do all this nonsense.
I've I've been gifted by the gods with these things, and it's my job to use them in the best way I can think of to make the world around me a better place.
It's all well and good to want to make the world a better place. Hell, I want to make the world a better place, and hell, I found some people who also want to make the world a better place. But what about this specifically calls out to you?
People are being harmed, and it needs to stop. And and I have been tasked by my mentor to offer my assistance. Even if he didn't ask, I would naturally want to help with this because I care about people. I care about you and the people I've met in the city of New York because New York is the first home, the first real home I've ever had.
Tom. Specifics. I'm going to go ahead and take out the specifics of that particular statement that you just said. You're doing this for your mentor, the one of which I both think we know as Winterborn. That I will take. You're doing this because you recognize that I'm on this particular case and perhaps I could use the help. Thank you very much. This is what you need to do, Tom. You need to learn to discriminate between all the rest of the city and the people you actually care about.
No, the truth is, I do care. That's why I want to get my law license here and get a dual citizenship. And I want to try and help this city as best I can. And the truth is, there are things going on in this city that, if they're not handled correctly, may in fact leak over to the rest of North America, if not the entire world.
Tom, your scale is too big. I keep telling you, look to the specifics. Look to the man in front of you. Look towards me. That's the only person you need to worry about right now. When you go back to your chantry, look to Winterborn. That's the only one you have to worry about. Don't think about the rest of the city, because the rest of the city has its own problems, its own heroes, its own villains. The rest of the entire world has its own heroes and its own villains. You need to be the hero of your own story,
But
nobody else's.
but here's the thing: our stories affect their stories, and the and what we need to be looking for is ways to ensure that the effect we're having is a positive one. That's our responsibility as mages.
It's not our responsibility as mages, it's a responsibility as people.
He,
People.
we are
Okay?
people with special abilities, and we need to use them responsibly.
There's
I'm
not necessarily people with great responsibility. Hell, Tom, you, with your legal license, will probably do a lot more good for this world than any witch or wizard piddling around in their dark rooms. You, as a legal consultant, I could definitely see bringing a lot of cases to light that desperately need them. You could be your own Eric Brockovich for all I care, and you'd be doing a great deal of good.
but
You don't
those
need this kind of power to do good in this world. You don't need this kind of power to be a hero.
but those two people, those two different aspects, are two parts of the same person. So I need to acknowledge that and move forward in the most positive way I can. The truth is, I'm a mage and I accept it, and I accept that which comes with it.
I am not a mage. I am something more specific. I'm awakened. I have the inner spark. I have a lot of things. I have an avatar that I don't talk to right now because she's a bitch. But that's beside the case. You, Tom, are more than just a template, just a splat that you were given when you woke up.
I know, and I've come to a place where I've finally been allowed to be a whole person, and I'm going to do what I can for people like you that I care about to ensure that whatever situation we come across has the most positive outcome that I can assist in producing.
All right. We'll probably be walking around this particular circle for like nights and nights and nights. So you want to help me with this Gallowsman case?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me give you some briefing and some background to what I've been researching.
Okay.
Um, right. You know about the 6 bodies that were found, right?
I know the amount that James shared with me. Um,
Okay.
I know lots of lots of the preliminary stuff. I don't know any specifics.
Right. I'll go ahead and give you some leads for you to track down. Okay. Now, when I first encountered the bodies in my autopsies, a few things came to mind. Each victim is marked with that runic symbol that you have gone ahead and identified the source of, so you could probably find some more information that way, although that's not really the kind of legwork I need. Um, do you know the condition of the bodies, or were you not told that?
I believe that Jade was saying that they were hung and mutilated.
Yes, yes, they were in fact mutilated. Um, Several different important components of the body were taken, that being the testicle and the ovary of the male and female, respectively.
That to me would signify a connection to life, and if this were not connected to something within the mystical realm, it would also suggest that these were crimes of passion to a certain degree.
The surgical precision of such of these surgeries, nah. Sorry, man. The brutalization, the cutting, yeah, that's definitely a very very passionate, but also a very very ritualistic affair. Moving on. Blood was taken in an exact measure, meaning that they were bloodletted very, very measuredly in a surgical fashion. Again, I can conclude from my own investigations that these victims were abducted off the streets by a gang, and Jericho will go ahead and get from his back pocket what looks like to be a copy of an illustration, that being of several masks that Jericho was actually able to draw due to the testimony of the ghost of Miss Truestorm, just for blue booking and OOC mention. Jericho goes on, simply says, I believe that these were the masks the gang used to hide their identity to those they abducted. In any case, they are brought to the ritual chamber, murdered, and then were left hanging in the streets. They were killed before they were hung. At least most of them were. There was one victim that died due to the hanging more than the mutilation. But yeah, less on her case, the better. I was able to track down one of these victims. Here's where you got to take notes.
Okay.
A Janice Pennyworth, a famed magician's assistant from a long lineage of assistants. Single child, parents taken at an early age. Apparently, there was an accident with the attempting to lose the levitation of a giant train engine. Winterbourne, for his part, may have been involved as a participant in the audience, saying that she knew, as well, he said that he was a witness to the accident, quote unquote, but from his perspective, it was a suicide because the magician and the assistant were both very, very aware of what they were doing, dropping the engine upon their heads. You can make that up if you will.
Okay.
During Janice Pennyworth's career, she had many, many different employers, at least 6 in total, I believe. No, 5 in total. 6 in total, 5 having died to mysterious circumstances and accidents. At this time, she had relocated to New York City, barring some maternal problems with her her current employer, a Thomas Hilton. Janice, for her part, left Vegas and her husband to stay with her grandmother in New York. Now, the husband, Timothy, claims that while the relationship was rocky, she wanted to reconcile, and she also claims that Facebook posts will provide evidence to that effect. There also seems to be a gag and illusion and magic shop within the same locale. The grandmother's house, as well as the magic shop, being fairly close to where she was abducted. And then that is what I have at the moment. So with this information, what do you make out of it?
Um, I I would sort of wonder that maybe if we were to triangulate the general area where this could have happened. Um, as you say, it was somewhere between her grandmother's place of residence and the magic shop. Maybe we could track them via some sort of residual energy that might be left behind. Even if we
That
could, sorry, um, even if we can identify the type of energy and then find a suitable expert that might be able to point us further in the right direction. Sorry, though, you were about to say something. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. Uh, sorry.
I DC'd.
I'm sorry, but I seem to have lost you there for a second.
I DC'd. I disconnected. Don't worry about it. Just continue back to where you started.
That's okay. Did you get the part where he explains the idea about maybe trying to get a hint of their residence and maybe getting an expert to point them in the appropriate direction?
And Jericho just goes ahead and looks at you and simply says, well, that may be definitely useful with more information. What we need is to talk to the grandmother and also investigate the magic shop. These are the two leads I currently have, and these are the two leads that currently lead the most legwork, I'm sorry to say.
Well, I can take one if you'll take the other. I think it would be more appropriate if I were to look into the magic shop, um, because I'm a college student. You you going around on an investigation would be less semi less awkward to be talking to your grandmother than me.
I can definitely do that, and if the body hasn't been identified yet, then that means I can get at the grandmother before the New York PD gets to her and fills her head with a lot of different questions, or it might be afterwards, which is, you know what, it's fair enough.
So I will do that, and I can keep you posted as I go. One,
Good, good, awesome,
one
awesome.
one thing that I would also perhaps recommend is I wouldn't put it past whoever's responsible for this to be trying to get to the grandma as quick as they can, because grandmothers can be loose heads, and so they might have something in place.
It could very well be. If you look into the lineage of this Janice Pennyworth, apparently she comes from a very, very, let's just call it hexed bloodline. Apparently, the females in the family have the habit of falling in love with people that are about to die.
Oh dear, that's terribly tragic.
Yeah, apparently it skips a generation. That's why we have a grandmother and a daughter. Well, daughter's dead, so what are you gonna do about that nonsense? In any case, yeah, Tom, thanks, thank you so much. Seriously, there's not enough people on the ground for this nonsense.
So, out of character, who would I talk to about doing an investigation of this shop?
Add a character. You be talking to a Jason Hoover, my good sir.
Okay. So when he eventually comes back online, I will ask him about that. It, he
Cools.
he appears to be or has been offline for about 2 days, it seems.
Fair dues.
Um, after after an acceptable amount of silence goes by between the two, Tom is actually going to take a breath and also add, um, I was wondering, Jack, um, if I were to prove myself capable through this element of the investigation, would you be willing to um, educate me further in the area of entropy, perhaps?
Uh, Jericho's gonna look at you, cockeyed, as if you say, "What?"
I need to learn about the um, ebb and flow of chance and death.
Um, okay. How much knowledge do you currently have about the spiral interplay?
Well, naturally, there's the basic stuff you learn in school, but mm, but I I was hoping you might be able to help me look a bit deeper into the area. As,
Look up thermonuclear dynamics, and then look up the heat death of universe. Once you've made a report on that and submitted it to me, I'll go ahead and look over your understanding of the two subjects, and then we'll proceed from there.
okay,
I
what
figure I figure that a book report will be better suited to your understanding.
um I can just trying to think of a way to express this while still staying within Jericho's frame of belief system. Um, it would that's one way. I'm sort of a spiritual person also by nature, so I don't know if that wouldn't change anything. But
Well, let me ask you. How do you learn anything, or how do you learn any of your craft?
um, a lot of prayer and contemplation. Um, but there are areas that I'm not so well versed in that even if I were to translate the assistance, having the assistance would certainly be a boon. And I, as I've come to understand, you are perhaps a well versed expert in the area.
Oh, yeah, I'm very much an expert on The effexto introphy. Okay. So you learn through meditation, contemplation, and all that other good nonsense, right?
Although I am okay with doing the book report if you really want me to do the book report.
Oh, I really want you to do the book report. I don't think it would help you, but I want you to do it anyways.
Okay.
Here's what I want you to do. Do the report. Come back to me with your findings and your understanding of the two topics that I have presented to you, nuclear thermonuclear dynamics, as well as the heat death of the universe, as well as this. And Jericho will go ahead and just present Tom with two dice. I want you to meditate. And when you meditate, I want you to throw these dice. I want you to keep throwing them until you can figure out, just by your own will, what the result of the die will be.
Okay. Uh, okay. And Tom will very gratefully take them. And what I'll do is, while I'm waiting for an opportune time to check out that Shaw, I will start work on this essay immediately.
Fair dues. Learn how we're all gonna die.
Tom will just smile good-naturedly. You wouldn't happen to have an address, would you?
I gave you my email address. What more do you want?
No, I mean the address of the store.
Jericho will go ahead and copy down two addresses, one to the grandmother's house, should you want it, and one to the magic shop, which you need. There you go.
Thank you. Um, out of character, Mud, how's your energy? Would you mind helping me do a few initial rolls?
Sort of tapping me out here, good sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I hope you feel better.
No worries, no worries. It comes and goes.
If you could do me a favor and help me jot down a note that I can cut and paste into my um Zooter thing, that would be a big help.
Yeah,
And
sure.
and also, could you please leave me the link to said website, as I had to clear my browser history in order to fix my cam.
Yeah, can do.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can end our scene. And Tom, it has started his next step towards um, his um, abilities to finding the answers that he needs and that others may need in the coming nights. So until next time, we wish you a very pleasant evening, morning, afternoon, and night.